Hello there. Good morning. It is Monday and it is the first full week of October. It's October 4th, 2021. Gosh, where'd 19 come from? I am so glad to be with you today. This is the optimum time to do something different. And the reason I say it's the optimum time is because it's the only time you're guaranteed right now, in this moment, in this second, is the only time that we're guaranteed. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what will happen next week. And today I want to encourage you to do something magnificent for yourself. And that's just to take advantage of the time that you have today to do the things that are most important to you. On Monday mornings, I come to you with just a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of insight, a little bit of motivation, and to set the pace for what will happen throughout the rest of the week. I do have a chat, so if you are watching this live, I'd love for you to just wave your hand at me and let me know that you're here. And, virtually raise your hand and wave it at me. I can't see you here, but on Fridays, I actually do a live chat in the Living at My Best group where we do get to come on camera together and talk to each other. And I would love for you to come and be part of that community. My prayer, my goal, my mission is also to bring encouragement to you, hope to you, and to help you to know that you are an incredible, beautiful, wonderful, fabulous person. And we need you in this earth. We need your gifts. We need your talents. We need your smile. We need your presence. So this week, I just want to say thank you for being part of my community. Thank you for being part of my world and my life. And thank you for all of your love and prayers to me over the years. Hey, good morning, Roseanne. I never know which one to call you to remind. I know you as one way, but I see you as another. So good morning, my dear friend. It's so good to be with you today. Today, we're going to talk about a concept that is really kind of hard to wrap your mind around. It is the concept of how you do one thing is how you do all things. And maybe you don't agree with that. If you don't, I'd love to hear back from you what you think of that concept. But it is this idea that if we are holding back from any area in our life, then we're probably holding back from other areas in our life. If we are full of joy and life and motivation in one place in our life, then that is going to pull over to some other ones. So as you begin this brand new week, I want to encourage you to do some observation. And that is to observe how you are starting your day. You know, I'm all about intention, and that we set our intention quickly and early. And how we start our day is a big indicator of how the rest of our day is going to work. The music we put inside of our mind, the things we read, the things we watch. If we start our days off with just scrolling our Facebook or Instagram or TikTok newsfeed, then we are setting an intention that we are going to be numbing ourselves out to what's happening in our real everyday life. And sure, we want to catch our friends, we want to see what's going on in the world, but that is not the best optimum use of your time and my time. The best use of our time, in my opinion, is to first of all, to find out what our assignments are for the day. One of my friends, and she was recently on a podcast, Dawn Stevens, talks about sitting at her CEO table in the mornings and getting her directions from God. And I wonder, do you have a CEO table where you sit down with your Bible, with some paper, with your heart in prayer, just saying, God, what is the plan for me today? What is your plan for me today? Setting your intention. Lord, you know the end from the beginning. What is the plan today? So beginning our days and beginning our processes with God first is the absolute best thing, because if we can put God first in the first part of our day, then we can be assured that we are going to turn to Him more often throughout the rest of our day. How we do one thing is how we do all things. Are we people of optimism, or are we people of pessimism? Are we looking at the world around us and seeing everything that's wrong with it? Or are we looking at the world around us and seeing some of the right things? It's no joke that there's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of struggle in our earth today. But we don't have to be sucked into that and then begin to practice being that person. You know, it doesn't take long when you listen to people what you can hear. And one of the things that I've read and the things that I believe is if you listen to a person long enough, they'll tell you who they really are. So if you are hearing a lot of negativity come from yourself, there is a really good possibility that you have a root of negativity in you that could have some attention to it, right? I know that whenever I get that way, it's like, wow, I didn't realize that I had allowed myself to become so negative and to look down on the way that things are in the earth. So how you do one thing, how you do all things. Is there negativity coming from your mouth? Then it's probably pervading every aspect of your life. And we don't want to be known as those people, you know, especially as Christians and as Christian women. We want to be known as women of light and of hope and of belief and of encouragement. So we want that to come up from the inside of us. So it has to be put into us, right? Another thing that I want to encourage you is to think about the people that you're spending the most amount of your time with. And sometimes we don't have a lot of choice about who that is. It's people that we work with, people that we engage with, people in our family. But you know the old saying that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And it's important for us then to be able to ask ourselves, who is investing into my life? Who am I investing into? How can I be a person who is more intentional in my day-to-day life and in my day-to-day walk of how I'm going to speak into other people's lives, and who will I allow to speak into my life? It's a critically important thing. And I know for me, and especially I think, you know, maybe raise your hand here, as we're coming into now almost 2 years, wow, almost 2 years of facing this pandemic, and the mess around us is to isolate and step back and isolate and step back. Maybe your circle has become very, very tiny. And maybe it's time for all of us to then think, who do I want to invest my life in? And who do I want investing their life into me? And creating some new relationships and spending time with the right kind of people. And I don't mean that sounds horrible, the right kind of people. But I think that you can understand from my drift is, are we spending time? Are we investing time? Because really, it's, as I started out, we only have this moment. We investing time with people who will encourage us to become the best version of ourselves? And are we investing our lives into people to help them become the best version of themselves? You know, I want always to have this open space of communication, this open space of life where every person is welcome in. You know, inclusivity, that's the word, is very important, especially in a world where we can feel like that who we are and what we have to give is so unimportant. We want to have this big, broad, open place where people can come and where we articulate the voice of our Father who says, whosoever will may come. But it doesn't mean that every person has a right to speak into your life. Just like you don't have the right to speak into every person's life. So this is an intentional place. How are you intentionally doing one thing in your life, in the relationships that you're creating, in the environment that you're setting, in the tone that you're setting for your life this week? So like I said, I'd love for you to just sit down, take a few minutes, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and write down the list of the 5 people that you are spending the most time with throughout your week. Sit down and write, what are the 5 things that you do every single day to help yourself become more joyful, more life-giving, more intentionally living the call and the purpose that God has for you. And if we're struggling in that area, then maybe it's time to set some new intentions. Maybe it's time to say, hey, I talk about this all the time, you know this, about journaling. It's time to sit down and journal and look at the things that you've journaled and see what's coming up in your mind and in your heart. It's time for us to then begin to set the pace for our own week. How will you invest Monday, this 1/7 of the week? How will you invest it and sow it into the rest of your week? Thanks so much. I know it's kind of rambly today, but I want to thank you for being part of what we're doing here on the website. Please come and visit me at donnawoolen.com. Come in our Living at My Best Facebook group. And if you haven't scheduled your personal complimentary clarity call with me already, then go to my website, donnawoolen.com, and get that on the calendar, because it is my gift to you to help you to be able to make sure that you're doing the things that matter most in your life. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a living at my best kind of day. Bye.